Hello class. So today we'll be looking at GPS 38, which is evaluating algebraic expressions. So we're done with factoring, all right? So make sure you go over all that factoring stuff. That's very important. It's a very big topic in mathematics, okay? Not just Math 10. When you go on to the next level class, which is usually MA 119, you're going to see a lot more factoring, okay? So make sure you really practice factoring and you master it. But let's take a look at GPS 38 now. So we're going to go on something a little different. It's just pretty much substitution, right? So we'll just go over some problems. So like I said, it's basically just substitution. So in this example, we're told that A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 2. So all we do is just substitute. So wherever you see A, you're going to replace it with 1. Wherever you see a B, you're going to replace it with 2, right? So whenever you make a substitution, you always put it in parentheses, okay? So you're going to write it like this. You're going to have 1, that's A, right, squared, minus 1, because that's A, and then plus B, which is 2 squared. Okay? Now just simplify everything. So 1 squared is 1, minus 1, plus 4. And then just go straight across. 1 minus 1 is 0, and then plus 4, so you just get 4. Okay? I mean, technically, once you get up to this point, right, you can pretty much put the whole thing in the calculator, right? But once you get here, you can just put the whole thing in the calculator, and then you're going to get a 4. Okay? So let's go into the next one. Also, remember PEMDAS, right? You always want to do exponents first before you multiply. So in this example, x is negative 1, y is equal to 3. So what's going to happen here? I'm going to get negative 1 squared times 3 plus negative 1 times 3, and then plus 3 squared. Okay? Actually, let's do that again. Let's make it a little bit more clear. So again, it's going to be x squared, right? So it's going to be negative 1, that's x squared, times y, which is 3, plus negative 1 times y, which is 3, plus 3, and then squared. Okay, so what am I going to get? Remember, you always do exponents first, okay? So the next line, I'm only going to do exponents. So let's only do the exponents. Negative 1 squared is positive 1 times 3 plus negative 1 times 3 plus, and then 9. See? So all I did was exponents here. Now I'm going to do the multiplication. So then now this is going to give me a 1 times 3 is just 3. And then this is a negative 1 times 3. So that turns into a minus 3. And then plus 9. So what happens here? 3 minus 3 is 0 plus 9. So that's just equal to 9. Okay? Let's do the next one. So again, I'm going to, whenever you substitute, put in parentheses. So it's going to be 2 times p, which is negative 2, and then squared, minus 3 times p, which is negative 2, times q, which is 3, plus 2 times q, which is 3 squared. Okay, now again, the next line, I'm only going to do exponents, okay? So again, you do exponent before you multiply. So I'm only going to do exponents in the next line. So this is going to give me 2, and then this exponent is going to be negative 2 squared, which is going to be a positive 4. Okay, I'm just going to copy everything over again. I'm not going to do anything else except for exponents. Times, and then 3 squared is 9. Okay, now I'm going to do the multiplication. So this is going to give me 8. This is negative 3 times a negative 2, which is a positive 6, times a positive 3, which is going to give me a plus 18. And then plus 2 times 9 is 18. Okay, and if you work that out, kind of lazy, let me just do my calculator. 8 plus 18 plus, you get 44. Okay, so this is equal to 44. Okay, but technically, you can put it on the calculator once you get up to here. But once you get here, you can put the whole thing on the calculator, and it should give you the right answer. Okay, let's go to the next one. Alright, so next one, same thing. We're going to substitute. A is -4, B is 3. So it's going to be 2 times -4 squared times 3 plus -4 times 3 minus 3 squared. Okay, and again, all I did was just substitute. Right, and so first I'm only going to do the powers first. So I'm going to bring down this 2, do the power here. That's still times, right? So it's going to be times 16 times 3, and then plus -4 times 3 minus, and then do the power, which is 9. Okay, see that? You only do one operation at a time. So all I did in this step was the power. Now I'm going to do all the multiplication. So let's take 16, that's like 16 times 2 times 3, that's going to be 96. So this gives me 96 over here. And this is going to give me a -12, right? -4 times 3 is -12, then minus 9. And then put that in the calculator. So that's going to give us 75. Okay, but again, you could have technically just put this into the calculator straight in, and that would have given you 75. Right? Let's look at the next one. So this is gonna, so same thing, all right? The negative is from the question, right? So I'm just bringing this negative down. And then what is x? X is -1, right? And then y is 3, and then plus oopsie, plus, and then x squared. So that's gonna be -1 squared. Okay? And now we just multiply. So it'll be negative times a negative, right? Is a positive. Or remember when two negatives are next to each other, it turns into positive. So that's going to give us a +3 plus, and then that's -1 times -1, which is a +1. So it's just 1, right? +1. So then that's just equal to 4. Right? Let's look at the next one. Okay, so for this one, same thing. I'm going to have -3 times, and then a is -1, b is 2. So it's going to be 3 times -1 squared minus 2 times -1 times 2 plus 3 times 2 squared. Okay, so I'm only going to do powers first. That's going to give me -3 times a +1, right? That's positive. And then minus 2 times -1 times 2 plus 3 times, and 2 squared is 4. Now I'm going to do multiplication. This is going to be -3. And then this is going to be a -2 times a -1, +2 times 4. It's going to be a +4 plus 12. So now -3 plus 4 is going to be a 1 plus 12, which is equal to 13. Okay. Next one. The negative from here. Okay, I'm just bringing the negative down. And then p is -3 squared minus q, which is -2 squared, minus p, which is -3, and then q is -2. So do the exponent first. So I still have a negative outside, right? And then -3 squared is going to be a +9 minus, and then this is going to give me a +4, right? Do the exponent. And then copy everything over, right? I'm not doing anything else, just exponent. Now technically you can put the whole thing in the calculator. Okay, so you could just put like, -9 minus, well, yeah, you need to calculate, but I guess I'll do the multiplication first. So this is subtraction, so let's just keep this subtraction. And this is going to be negative times negative, and then negative is positive, right? But then it's going to be another negative. So it's going to be end up as a negative, so -6. And then that's going to give us -19. Okay? So technically, like I said, you can always put the whole thing in the calculator right after you do the exponents, okay? You put the whole thing in the calculator exactly how I wrote it, and you should get the correct answer. Right, so again, if you get lost anywhere, just replay the video again. If you have any questions, post it on the discussion forum. Right, I'll see you guys next time. And you should practice this. This is kind of tricky sometimes. So I would say do this whole GPS all over again, okay, on a separate sheet of paper, and practice this, okay? See you guys next time.